Diddy. Everyone needs an Aquarius. Our live look into the situation. How are you doing, Dom? Before we get started, you looking radiant tonight.
Yeah, I have a birthday dinner. Happy birthday, Jeffrey. Um, so yeah, that's why I'm all glammed
Shout out
up.
to
'Cause I
Jeffrey. I
know
don't
me,
know
I'll
you,
be
my brother, but isn't he dating someone from St. Louis? Isn't that his claim to fame? Is
now
it?
my brother claim to fame is all his.
Oh,
Oh, he is an actor.
my
He
bad.
is,
I don't
he
know. I didn't know. I'm just assuming everybody's messing with a St. Louis woman. I just always assume.
no my sister-in-law, my sister-in-law is actually from London. The amazing, great Chantel. She is a clothing designer. Has worked
Where's
for
she from? She's from Brixton. She's from Brixton.
No, she's from London. She's actually just from London. I don't know which neighborhood, but I'll ask her.
In Brixton. She's from East London.
But no, he's an actor, very accomplished. I'm proud of him. He just actually is filming a new series that's coming out called Nemesis. So I can say that because that has been reported.
It's been booked.
That's been on Deadline and everywhere else. So shout out to him. Happy birthday. And that's it. How are you?
All right, I'm good. I mean, baby girl's finishing up her season, man. She got pulled up to the first team on the soccer list, so I'm pretty excited about that for her. Even though she don't care, she be like, whatever, nigga. Hey, she always says you put me in this. That's what her claim to fame is. So hey,
the nerve.
But when I get this, and you ain't got to pay no money for no student loans.
Hello?
You'll be looking at me like the Serena, not Serena, the Williams sisters with Mr. Williams. All right, but let's get into it. Y'all know what time it is. We here for it. Y'all know. All right, Surviving Diddy.
You're back.
We are back. We are back fully in it. All right, Dom, where do you want to start? You want to start from Don? Is it Don Richards or Richard? Like when did it
Don Richard?
Hold on. Yeah. Is it always Richard? Is it always
to my knowledge,
okay.
To my knowledge, yes, it's Don Richard. So that's all I know.
I thought it was just one of the things that I want to be bougie and I want to be Don Richard.
No, I think it's Richard. I think it's always been Richard. Right, so that's all I know.
All right. Hey, that is what it is. But Don Richard, I wasn't calling her Richard for this long time. But
really, okay.
Yeah, I never call her Richard. Did they even on Making It in the Band, did they call her Richard?
They just called her Don.
Oh, so they never said her last name on Making the Band.
I don't recall. Like how long ago was that?
20 plus years, 20 some years. Because Making It in the Band, the one with Danny Kane has got to be what, 03?
No, yeah, that's the first one. And then because I think Welcome to the Dollhouse came out maybe my senior year of high school or like summer of my freshman year.
Okay, so it's gotta be around then. But so she jumps on jumps on the stand. She goes to the stand to give her her testimony in the Diddy trial. Differing opinions out there about how she did in the trial. Some people feel that she was contradicting herself. Other people were saying that she gave a strong testimony upon the abuse of Cassie in front of her. Before we get started, you want me to go ahead.
Okay, so before we dive really deep into this, could you explain to people?
Yes. What
RICO is, because I think
let's do racketeering first because he's on for racketeering. So sex trafficking is that's more muddier, and I don't want to really get into that. But we can definitely go into racketeering. Racketeering conspiracy refers to a situation where two or more people agree to participate in illegal activities. Unlike racketeering, which requires providing that the enterprise actually exists and activities affected interstate commerce, racketeering conspiracy focus on the agreement to participate in the enterprise. All right, so it's also engaging. So the same thing as RICO a little bit, engaging in a pattern of criminal activity, typically through a criminal organ enterprise to gain financial or other benefits. That's the key. People are thinking when they're talking about him making money, they're thinking that he's receiving financial. It's other benefits. So think about that. So some multiple acts that are considered RICO or racketeering are kidnapping, murder, gambling, arson, bribery, extortion, or drug trafficking within a 10-year period. So that's what you have to get our mind state into, of not thinking. People are, I think, and it's something even myself as well, is like, man, like, is this racketeering? I'm thinking about John Gotti running a whole, organization, running a mafia. It may not necessarily be that in this case of what we're saying, because the RICO Act, for people to understand, the RICO Act and racketeering was brought into existence in the 70s because they could not get a lot of criminal or mafia organizations because of their layers of immurta, basically not saying nothing and not snitching. A lot of those different things were in play where they couldn't get it. So they was like, basically, if I could just tie you to someone else and saying you may have gave them the orders, or that you're a part of this, or you're associated with someone else, I can get you for these crimes. So that's where the RICO Act came from in general, to give us some background. But within the Diddy case, we have to look at certain things like kidnapping, bribery, extortion, and drug trafficking are the things that we think about. And not drug trafficking, you think about somebody selling bricks. If I buy large quantities of drugs and I give them to other people, I am drug trafficking.
And I want to explain what sex trafficking is, since we talk about it in the literal sense, what the Department of Justice is saying. So to simplify it, is just sex trafficking law under the Trafficking Victims Protection Act defines sex trafficking as recruiting, harboring, transporting, providing, obtaining, patronizing, or soliciting a person for the purpose of commercial sex. This can include the use of force, fraud, or coercion, or when the person is under 18 years old. A commercial sex act is defined as any sex act where anything of value is exchanged. So you hoes that be getting flued out, paid, all that stuff, you got trafficked. So even if it's voluntary, you took something in exchange. Commercial sex work. That is what this is. So we've talked about this the entire time, and I told you, I said, I wonder, I wasn't 100% sure if they would be able to catch him up necessarily in that realm per se, just because, we know NDAs were signed, we know waivers were signed, all these things where people were adhering to the space of partying and getting down. And like I told you, I said, I think where they'll really catch him up is if somebody is a minor, and it doesn't matter if they lied, had a fake ID. If someone comes forward and say, I was 17 or 16 at the time that this happened, I attended this freak off, regardless of how we as citizens want to paint that person, that doesn't matter. It happened. And so we have to remind ourselves of that and what the law is. Just like you said regarding the RICO, one of your points was not being able to get mob people caught up in a lot of stuff. So this is how you have this law, this act that comes into play into the 70s, because they could not catch these people up or hold them to these different things. And because that has also come up in conversation. And I'm like, nigga, this is before this act went into play. You talking about John Cudi. They couldn't get him up, catch him up. They couldn't.
No, he was too late, and most of them, especially back then, were way insulated. Even black organizations or Hispanic organizations, you're so insulated. If you're at the top, you got 7 people you got to holler at to even get to Rayful Edmonds or get to the Fat Man Eddie Jackson in Detroit, someone along those lines. You got to get through some people to get them, but they can get you on a RICO. So this is something that I think people may not be thinking about. I just want to bring it to light before we kind of talk more about the trial this past week. Cats don't be understanding. Don't be fucking your co-workers or people that work up under you, because this is why the RICO can be come in, the racketeering, the trafficking. Because what is it in here? Where does it say? It says bribery, extortion. So if I'm telling you I'm not dropping your album, or I'm pushing it back if you ain't fucking with me, or I'm putting you under pressure for this, then now I am in a criminal organization, regardless of you just saying I'm just a shitty human being. Now I am in a criminal situation.
Yep.
Because I'm messing with someone I'm working with.
Yep.
You should, even if it happens all the time. Yes, it does. But this is part of the reason that he can be jammed up, is because that's why companies signed to his label.
And you have a lot of companies that have rules and regulations about fraternizing with people outside of work, relationships outside of work.
That's the major pin. I don't know if it didn't came to me, but that's when the major pins are like, you were messing with someone you're working with that is on your company. That's how some of
and already you got her jammed up in this crazy 10 album deal. And Cassie girl, I bought your first album.
You bought the first Cassie album?
You know what? But I was rocking with Cassie heavy in the MySpace days of her and Ryan Leslie. So
okay, because all them beats was Ryan Leslie beats.
All that stuff was Ryan Leslie. So for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm having such a good time. I didn't know this was going to happen.
Of course,
but also people we got areas of music that we just enjoy, and that might just be flow. It ain't that deep. You know what I mean? I like that. So I purchased her first album. And so to now learn that, girl, and also you so young, like I don't even know how 10 albums. Does Beyonce have 10 albums? And this is not me even being funny.
Honestly, like I wonder on
that's
a
predatory.
And this is where it goes to like the influence and that coercion and all those different things. I guarantee you any good entertainment lawyer could have got her about the goddamn 10 album deal, because that's some bullshit to be signing somebody. I don't even think that's even legal. Maybe I not know any of our legal folks that are entertainment. I just think a 10 album deal.
And I mostly feel like I if I'm not mistaken, I feel like Rihanna was caught up in a similar deal.
Oh, really?
Because remember Rihanna was dropping back to back to back to back for a period of time. Like even after the incident with Chris Brown, she dropped. Like not too much longer after that. This is
I'm sure a good legal attorney could have got her up out of that. Is what I'm saying.
I think that I think she might owe them one more album. She might have fulfilled her obligations. But I know Rihanna, I believe her deal was something crazy because she was dropping back to back like that.
So I guess a 10 album deal in the music industry is not inherently illegal. It's supposed to be a standard type of contractual agreement between an artist and record label, depending on the artist and who they are. So there we go.
I don't know how he like, and this is no shade again. I enjoy Cassie for who she is. Did you okay, we're gonna move back to the trial.
Yeah.
So you want me to do the quick recap of yesterday?
Yep.
All right. So yesterday, prosecutors called 4 witnesses to the stand. David James Combs' former personal assistant, Regina Ventura, the mother of Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, Sheree Hayes, a male escort who testified to participate.
No, you gotta give his name now, Dom. You gotta give his name.
I said Sheree Hayes. I'm
talking about his name, his dancing name. The Punisher.
Was that the Sheree is the Punisher?
The Punisher.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, I said his name. I said his
No.
name.
Okay. I knew you wouldn't. I knew you wouldn't seen it yet.
Yes, so this is a male escort who testified in participating in Combs' freak-offs and Homeland Security agent Gerard Gannon. Their testimonies expanded the jurors' views into Combs' alleged abusive behavior and into complex relationships he had with singer Cassie. Regina Ventura, the mother of Cassie, whose real name is Cassandra Ventura, said she felt physically sick after her daughter told her Combs threatened to release explicit videos when she started dating Kid Cudi. Hayes testified that he was hired up to a dozen times for freak-offs, with the first encounter being at the Trump Tower. I knew how that motherfucking name was going to end up in this. Trump Tower, where he was tipped $1,200. James testified that he ultimately quit working for Combs after seeing the artist armed himself with 3 handguns and wanted to possibly confront Suge Knight at a 2008 Los Angeles diner. So yes,
because I know one of them is the assistant talks about the diner thing, and he was on the stand, and he was like, "Yo," like when I was reading this transcripts, and he was also like, "Yo, I did steal from Diddy." That's why he got mad at me. Yeah. He was like, "Yeah, I stole from him. That's why I'm not in business with him," which was funny to me. Of like, "Yo, yeah, I did steal from him. He didn't steal money though. He was stealing Sean John clothes and like jeans and stuff." I'm not trying to be stereotypical. I think he may have been a gay brother because it seemed like he's like, I needed to get some of them jeans. Like it was just something like
niggas. Like I wanna. You could. You know what? But
he was stealing, Dom. He was stealing.
Glad, okay. I guess on the flip side of that, I'm happy that he did not steal money.
No, he was stealing clothes, Sean John clothes.
Okay, you clearly needed clothes to be stealing Sean John clothes.
Hey, I love that he kept it funky though. Like, yo, I stole clothes. Yes, that's why I'm not employed by Sean. You know, amongst other things. But it's the thing is, and this is the thing is like I just wonder these jurors. If you hear Suge Knight's name and Diddy together, do you think of running a criminal organization? Now, some of these people claim that they don't know anything about anything in pop culture or anything that's going on in hip-hop.
Right, when we talked about that last week.
Yeah, when we talk about all the jurors, we said 6 of them was full of shit. Because
absolutely.
You know Suge Knight and you know Diddy. So if you see them in a thing of that, and we will all say that Suge Knight is running a criminal organization, even if he's not locked up for that. Alleged. But what did you think about the mom testimony though?
I think
they didn't cross-examine the mom. They didn't cross-examine the mom at all.
Huh?
They didn't cross-examine the mom.
I mean, what could they say?
Because you supposed to gave it 20. Diddy's supposed to try to get 20 grand out of her.
Okay. So okay.
Go ahead. Let me let you cook.
Okay, so you remember when Puffy had that no bitch assness campaign?
Yes.
And we're seeing that he's full of all this bitch assness because there's no way in hell, because you are a psychopath, you are a narcissist, you are sociopath, exhibiting and displaying sociopathic behavior, because allegedly, you hearing rumors that your ex is laid up with Kid Cudi. And that's no diss to Kid Cudi. It's no shade, like friend, like none at all. But I'm saying you don't get to go out here and say that you're going to release explicit videos of us. And then now we have this, we talk about revenge porn. Another felony. It's a crime to do that. It doesn't matter who you are. You can...
And so supposedly she wired him 20 grand so they can find that out to Babel, but he sent it back. So all that, if they can corroborate and find out if that's real, and I'm sure it's got to be real. The feds already probably corroborated that this 20 grand went to Bad Boy. And why would Cassie parents be sending 20 grand to Bad Boy? And they're a multi-$100 million organization, unless this story is true.
That's what I'm saying. This is hearing that, my mouth dropped. Like this, it just keeps getting worse and worse. And that's what I want people to understand about this case as they are building this out. It is a slow burn. You know, they're saying that they can be into court up to 8 weeks. This is slated for 8 weeks. So we haven't even heard half of the things. And we're just hearing, like we said, character, I'm not going to say development, but this is the discovery in the case that we are hearing as, you know, public facing, and, you know, which creates a lot of dialogue when we talk about public scrutiny and the back and forth, and, you know, people picking sides, people not understanding how they are also abusers, because they don't have puffy money, but a lot of people are seeing themselves being called out. These are the behaviors that they display with a lot of their relationships, and a lot of women that are in support of Puffy don't realize how they have also been abused. And you want to say, oh, somebody actively did something. Isn't part of abuse survival? So I'm going to do what I have to do to survive. So this goes back to, you know, surrounding people. He might not threaten to directly harm you, but he's talking about harming your mama or harming your assistants, your stylist, all these different things, because he no longer has access to you. And, you know, I know that personally, you know, having a friend that
worked for him.
So that's what I'm saying. So everybody's saying, oh, you know, I can't believe her husband should leave her after this. He was the trainer. He was there. He knows what's going on. He knew what happened. And like he said, I did not save Cassie. Cassie saved herself. So I just, it's just interesting. It's just interesting to hear the dialogue, and when you see women say those things, and it's just, you know, we talked about it yesterday on, you know, our regular episode about women not understanding the plight of women, not knowing how to be a girl's girl because they so busy wrapped up being a pick-me. So a lot of y'all are lost, and I'm not even gonna pray for y'all.
We'll go to the comments. Cassie went through so much with this man, but she never should have left Ryan for the glitz and glamour.
He was too old to be dating her too. We talked about that yesterday. Last week. And this is coming from a woman that dates men that are way older than her. But I wasn't doing that in my 20s. As I got older to 30, I was like, I like it here. But in my youth, absolutely not. Like I would not. It never even crossed my mind. When somebody older, I said, man, you like an uncle. But as I got older, I was like, But also I wanted to live, you know, my life and do different things. But I guess let's hop into today. So what were some of the things that happened today?
Today they brought in a DV expert that was used in the we talked about.
Her name Dawn Hughes. Dawn Hughes, a forensic psychologist.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess she testified as well in the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case as well, and some other cases as well. The defense was trying not to let her get the stand because they were saying like this is all. But I mean, everybody brings experts in. They could bring experts in as well. Now, I would love to see what experts they bring in, because that's going to be some. Who you gonna bring in? Somebody saying like, "Hey, yeah, you what you gonna bring in one of the red pill dudes?" Like, I mean, it's her fault. She could have left. I'm an expert in it. I mean, I don't know what the experts they can bring in, but all they
could do is bring in somebody with incel behavior, and then. But when I think about this case as a whole, I'm thinking about it from the
Hey,
perspective.
shout out to Risa Proma. Thank you for you didn't miss this one. Go ahead.
I'm thinking about it from the perspective of, just being in survival mode. And I think we all, as human beings, get so caught up in that space that we don't know what, like I said, what this even looks like anymore. So it looks like somebody is active and willing. And it's like, well, the text message said this. I'm like, well, if somebody said something to me, and like she said, I wanted to have a long time with this person. Um, you've heard stories of when they were alone, and then next thing you know, he calling somebody in the room, okay, make me a sandwich. While they're indecent. Like this is just it's like no boundaries. But like I said, when it is like, I don't want to compare him to like Hitler or Stalin, but when
No, you can't do that though.
no, I can't do that. But what I want to say is, when you come into that power and you like climbing this ladder of that, you don't have no boundaries. You don't understand. Everything is supposed to be yours, and so everybody's supposed to do what you tell them to do and bend over backwards for you. And it's just like, oh, she should be happy that she's in that space, but it's just like, why?
Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting overall with this whole thing of the testimony from this last week. It's really like, yo, like you were doing some wild stuff. Now I know, like I said, when we talked about earlier, if you joined us during the live, we went back, we went over what a RICO is, what racketeering is, what sex trafficking is, all those good different things, to lay the palette. And in general, maybe we just should do that every beginning of every one of these, just for people can know, like, okay, this is what these laws really mean.
Yeah.
But it was interesting with the also with the Punisher.
Okay.
He was saying that Diddy was just making him, weirding him out or whatever, because he said he couldn't get erect during all the different things, because he kept on like directing, like, pull your leg up, do this, do that. And he was just like, this is weird stuff to me. And now that's not being weird, but the idea was Cassie being forced to do these things? And will we see other people that were forced to engage in situations like this against their will, and not necessarily against their will with a gun that they had? I know that's what people think what against their will is. Her livelihood, her career, like her mom was extorted for 20 grand. Like
20 grand. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Even though he gave it back, but you already got that wire transfer, and she took a line of equity already. That can be documented, that she took a home equity line of credit. That's documented, and she gave that and sent that to Bad Boy. That's there. Those small trails of things that gets you jammed up. It's more of a thing of like the way I'm comparing for some people, because they may think they're supposed to get like this big aha moment, like Scooby-Doo, where someone pulls off the mask and like, oh, we got you. It was John, the hot dog guy. No, the way that they're laying that out is, it's like getting your license suspended 4 times. And then you like, I gotta do 6 months in jail. Yeah, you get 4 license suspensions. Or we got you 4 different small felonies. You're gonna have to do some time. It's just you're building up with these different things. It's never going to be an aha moment with a person like this. That's the point of the RICO. The RICO is because you so insulated. Even though he was dumb, where the assistant, he charged some of that stuff to Bad Boy, and they were like, no, don't do that. You got to do it this way. But he charged some of the different things going on that he was buying to Bad Boy on the Bad Boy credit card.
That's really why he got fired. Not stealing them Sean John clothes. Like in the. Because I'm like, if somebody's stealing Sean John, it ain't like it's Polo or even Sean John when it was hot.
I mean, Sean John had that run, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. But Daryl, you was in college and I was in high school when he had that run. That's just like when Rockefeller was hot.
Hey, them Sean John velour suits was kind of cracking though.
You said what?
Them Sean John velour suits was kind of cracking though.
Oh, I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying, I'm just saying when the assistant was stealing Sean John, this was at a different point in time.
Thank you for answering that for Risa. She was asking who was stealing because she didn't jump in.
I'm like, that's why. We were at a later time in life where we wasn't rocking, at least the streets really wasn't rocking that, because now you got old men.
But now those suits though, I know the suits were rocking for a long time, even after it wasn't as popular. I know that.
All I'm saying is that doesn't sound like that's what the guy was stealing. You said jeans.
Yeah, I said jeans. That's what he said. That's what he said. He was stealing jeans and clothes. So you saying you think he messed up on the accountant, and then that's why he got fired? Like you charged to the wrong account.
Because now you got eyes on this that might not even be privy to it. So if I'm on, like you said, I'm in accounting, and I see this charge come through, and I need a receipt
for Astroglide.
That's what I'm saying. So that's really why that boy got fired.
But he didn't get fired for that necessarily, because he started then after that basically petty cashing it and then charging it to like they were reimbursing him with cash. So like he would buy or purchase whatever that was going on, and then they would reimburse him with cash. So
this is crazy.
I mean, this whole Diddy thing is just it's beyond fathomable, but it's also fathomable just because of the ego of an individual that has bread and power. But I thought about some, Dom. I think there is one, and you sent this to me. I think there's only one way he gets out. It is. Well, two ways he gets out of this. But the second one is just a revolving door. Well, I mean, the first one is a revolving door. If it's a mistrial, like if there's one person that just like, yo, I'm just not going to say guilty, and it's 11-1, and they just keep sending them back, and the judge gonna be like, it's a mistrial. But what all the feds are gonna do is run it back anyway. So that's gonna be a revolving door for that one, especially after they poll the jury and find out it's 11-1. Oh, we're gonna run this back. Now, the second one you sent to me is the great Donald Trump pardoning him. Those are his two routes of getting out. Now, he could, I wonder if now, and maybe you can ask your mom, if he gets mistrialed on this, could he get grounds for getting bail then and then be out because it's a mistrial? Because I was wondering that. Like, I'm not saying that the judge would let him get bail, but I'm saying, would he have more of a grounds for it? We mean like, hey, okay, yeah, it's a mistrial. Since can my client get out on bail because of this? Because if it's a mistrial, to prepare for our next trial. I'm just wondering. I wish it was some legal beagles in the chat. Yeah, I wish it was some legal beagles.
So it's saying no, a defendant is not automatically released after mistrial. The decision to release a defendant on bail following a mistrial is entirely up to the court's discretion. The mistrial sets the stage for potential future proceedings, and the court must decide whether to hold the defendant in custody or release them pending retrial or other proceedings. This decision may consider factors such as the nature of the charges, the defendant being a flight risk, which that's the first thing where my mind went to, and their history. Diddy might be a flight risk.
And that's probably the reason they wouldn't let him out in the first place.
Yeah. That's why they felt like he was a danger to society and a flight risk. Because think about where they caught him to begin with. He was trying to get up out of Miami.
Yeah.
And they got him.
I'm just wondering though. I'm wondering if a judge be like, all right, yeah, let's go ahead and give up, like, because originally he was trying to give up what, 10 mil and some properties or something. I think it's some crazy amount of money originally he was trying to give up to get out bail originally.
for me, it like I said, I think that would be a problem because Diddy would be a flight risk. Now, whatever they settle on going forward, because Diddy's looking at life.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is a mistrial, and I'm interested in to know what and I said this last week, what the plea deal was.
I mean, I told you the rumors it was 5 years.
And Diddy, you like 60. You would have had to do 80% of that. They put a percentage of this.
So 1 year of it's going to be done with you already being locked up for a year. You probably had to do a year and a half too. They might not even send you actually to a federal prison. They ain't even worth sending you there for a year and a half, 2 years.
And you could have, and you're gonna do the rest of this.
That's why, you know what, Dom? Maybe it wasn't 5 then, and maybe it was 10, because that makes more sense if it be.
It makes more sense for 10, but if I'm looking at life,
right? No. But I'm saying if 5, I could see someone more likely doing the mathematics of being like, I already did a year, I gotta do 80. I might get off good time. Well, shit, I'm gonna do another year and a half in here, and I'm back. So it's got to be more than 5 than they gave him. They might offer him like 10, 15. Because they might feel like they got this so much in the bag. And
that's what we know that. But like I said, unless this takes that weird turn, like what happened with Young Thug's case down there in Atlanta. But like I was saying, that
was state. That was
but like I said, yes, it was state, but also so many wild, crazy things that were happening. You had judges consistently coming on and off that case.
Yeah. And you had that messed up stuff they was doing with like they were meeting in the back without his defense attorney and stuff like that, and like making other sides. They was doing some shady stuff down there. And you know, Fonnie Willis was doing, you know, it was just a mess.
Yeah, it was a lot of different variables there.
Yeah, it was a mess down there in Atlanta. But do you think that Donald Trump would pardon the diddler?
It's almost kind of like he would.
His scheme, I feel, has been, I'm going to pardon a whole bunch of black rappers to try to get my gusto up amongst black people. That's been kind of like the theme, I feel like, in general from Trump, is that and that's been a good strategy for
Republicans kind of in general. Just like why you the congressperson or the person yesterday that was saying the thing about Tory Lanez, and we talked about, okay, y'all talking about hearsay, ain't nobody went and filed a motion. You know, I said, so that's also very weird. And it's like y'all trying to get into the heads of the Negro and trying to get them on the side of the Republicans. Haven't y'all done enough to us? Leave us alone. Aren't y'all tired? These niggas don't get out. The people that you trying to talk to, they don't vote. Like, no shade, no tea, no shade. But a lot of them didn't vote.
Kodak Black, you know, you want to get Kodak Black out of jail, though. But do you think he would, though? Do you think?
I don't know. I think that would put him in a weird situation. But also, if he did, it would
Did
not.
He got money? He could throw some money at him. Like,
does Diddy have money like that after that? Because they already said he done settled a lot of those other cases.
And they said his money could get. And I was reading that if he gets convicted, and they could say that his money was moving around in legal means between Bad Boy and his other entities, that they could jam that money up and freeze it.
Yeah.
Because they was basically, this money was being used for a criminal organization. We're going to freeze these funds.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Or do you pay Donald Trump now while you got your money? Before
if he knew what was good for him, he would.
Hey man, go ahead and drop that 10 mil off for
but also because simply because I mean y'all lived similar lifestyles.
Yeah.
And they only, like I said, he didn't go to jail simply because of how they trying to.
He pardoned himself.
Well, yeah.
and I think a sitting president can't go to jail.
Yeah, but don't forget that they kept pushing that trial off. Like
Yeah.
he was.
I'm not talking about the Fonnie Willis one. I'm talking about the one in New York that he got.
No, that's what I'm
convicted of.
saying. They kept
Yeah.
pushing that court date back. So then once he got elected, it was
You
like,
can't do that.
never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really tough, and I don't know, but at this point, nothing surprises me in this country anymore, and people rarely get justice. I saw some article, something that a friend of mine posted about how many people have gotten killed in just alone in St. Louis, and how many of those cases are unsolved. A lot of people just don't get justice. That's not what this country is founded upon. And that's sad.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. All right, Dom. I know you gotta get ready to roll. Next week, y'all come back. We back here next Wednesday.
Because we needed to just really explain to y'all what was happening here, so y'all can get a better understanding, because y'all are clearly confused.
Yeah. Hey, we may need to do a whole series on the New Orleans boys, because now I done did a deep dive on a lot of them cats. Oh, our next episode, I got a whole man. So shout out to this brother. I'm gonna send you the link. He did a whole 20-minute video breaking down the one light-skinned dude that's supposed that
I sent you, right?
Right, but
there
it was some some drug stuff going on in that. It was a lot going on for them 4 people, man. And he was in the game though. Like they said, he got double-digit bodies. They only caught him for the 4.
Damn. And that's the one who grandma got killed by the popo.
Yep.
Damn.
They said he the most official one out of everybody. Like they got YouTube videos on him, like he just that dude. Like,
oh yeah, send me that video.
Yeah. Now you got to get past the heavy New Orleans accent, because sometimes, no disrespect to my New Orleans brothers and sisters, but when y'all do a YouTube video, it be heavy, and you got to sit there and listen. You can't be doing nothing else. You got to listen to them brothers and sisters when they talking. If they gonna talk long format, But no, he at least far as I can tell, that dude is the one that was like a little kingpin, a little hood booker running around.
Damn.
Yeah. I have to
but
figure.
They said, like I said, they sent you the thing yesterday. That's like they said he was avenging his
It was more than that. He was doing a lot more than that, Don.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna give everybody his name. Hold on. The brother's name, because I just watched this video. Hold on. I just watched this video. His name is Derek Groves. It's called The Many Bodies of Derek Groves. That's the name of the video on Instagram.
Damn. Okay.
Damn. That's the name of the video. The Many Bodies of Derek Groves.
Damn.
Yeah, but that's a whole nother thing with those brothers in New Orleans. And I don't think anybody else has been caught, but hey. Shout out to the brother. I want to give him some love though. His channel is 504 Street Stories. That's the name of the brother's YouTube channel. 504 Street Stories and Gangster News is the brother that did this story, and I was enthralled. I sat there for them 20-something minutes, enthralled by what he was saying in that video.
I can't wait to watch this.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all for.
Now I'm about to be in it. I'm like, oh.
Yep. When you're riding, just let's put it on while you're riding.
All right.
Well, thank y'all for another Surviving Diddy. We will be back next week talking more of this. And thank y'all. I appreciate y'all as always. Peace.